Hello everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my series, How to Stay Safe in the Sun. And now we're going to talk about what SPF means, sun protection factor means. It means how long you can stay safely in the sun while wearing the product. People assume that the higher the number, the greater protection, and that's simply not true. I told you earlier that there's two different types of sunscreens, the physical and the chemical, and the high SPF numbers that you see are generated by chemical sunscreens. What you need to know is that the higher the number doesn't give you cumulative effects, meaning an SPF 100 does not give you double the protection of an SPF 50, and that's a big misunderstanding. In fact, when you get into those high numbers, an SPF 30, for example, will absorb 96% of the sun's rays. An SPF 50 only absorbs 97% of the sun rays, but usually you have a much higher chemical load that that's getting into your bloodstream, that's being absorbed by the skin, just for that little bit amount of protection. So that's why it's not such a false sense of security, if you will. You also need to know how safe is it for you to stay in the sun. So that also gives you a clue to how long your sunscreen will work. For example, it takes me 10 minutes to burn without sunscreen in the sun. So if I use an SPF 30, I multiply the number. So 10 minutes times SPF 30, that's 300 minutes. So if I use it as directed, I can stay in the sun up to 300 minutes. Now, there is a problem with that, and the problem is that most people do not apply nearly enough sunscreen to get that SPF 30 or whatever number's on your bottle. When the FDA kind of measures, or I should say when scientists kind of measure SPF efficacy, they are using a 2 milligrams of sunscreen per square centimeter of skin. Now, if you're American, you probably don't even know what that means, so I'm going to keep it really simple. To cover your entire body, give or take, most bodies, you're going to use a shot glass full of sunscreen to cover the entire body. For the face alone, you're going to use the size of a nickel, and I know that most people don't use that. So if you burn very easily, and chances are you're a Celtic complexion customer, you're fair skin, you're going to burn very easily, and you're not putting on as much as you need to, you're not really getting the SPF number that's on the bottle, and that's very important to understand. So in my next series, I'm going to talk to you about the best way to apply the sunscreen to get the best results. So stay tuned.